Do you ever feel burned out after finishing a big project only to dive straight into the next one? In today's Thrive in 5, I'll explain the art of scheduling buffer days, the intentional breaks that help you reset, recharge, and come back stronger.
You are listening to the Thrive in 5 podcast with Cindy Gordon. This is your daily dose of productivity, motivation, and success strategies. I am here to turn your big dreams into actionable goals one step at a time. Ready to make the most of the next 5 minutes? Let's dive in.
Let's talk about buffer days, an often overlooked but critical part of staying productive and avoiding burnout. Buffer days are those intentional in between days that give you space to reflect and rejuvenate after a high stress project or a busy season. They aren't about slacking off, they're about creating breathing room to recharge and prepare for what's next. Today, I'll show you why buffer days are essential and how to schedule them into your life for maximum impact. First, let's understand the purpose of buffer days. So, these days aren't just rest days, they're a time to transition, reflect, and reset. Think of them as a bridge between high intensity work and your next big project. They allow you to reflect on what worked and what didn't in your last project. They allow you to rejuvenate your mind and body by stepping away from constant productivity. It also allows you to prepare for the next task with fresh energy and a clear plan. Without buffer days, you risk carrying stress and fatigue from one project into the next, which can lead to burnout and reduce performance over time. Look at your calendar and schedule them before and after high stress periods. For example, before a project, use a buffer day to tie up loose ends, set goals, and prepare mentally for the week ahead. After a project, schedule a buffer day to reflect, organize, and allow yourself time to unwind. These days don't need to be entirely unproductive. You can use them for low-pressure tasks like reviewing progress, brainstorming, or even catching up on hobbies. Next, you need to protect your buffer days. It's easy to let buffer days get eaten up by last-minute tasks or meetings, but these days are essential for your well-being. Treat them as sacred appointments with yourself. Block them off on your calendar and communicate their importance to others if needed. If someone asks for your time on a buffer day, feel confident in saying, "I'm unavailable then, but how about this other time?" Protecting these days ensures that you can show up fully when it's time to tackle your next big goal. Then we need to incorporate reflection and rejuvenation. Use your buffer days to reflect on recent projects. What went well? What could have gone differently? This reflection helps you to grow and approach future work with more clarity. Balance this with a little bit of rejuvenation, whether it's a walk in nature, a creative activity, or simply just reading a book. Give yourself permission to engage in activities that recharge you. Buffer days are the secret to maintaining long-term productivity. They provide the balance that gives you mental and physical space that you need to transition between projects without carrying stress and exhaustion. By building intentional pauses into your schedule, you can create a sustainable rhythm that keeps you focused and energized over time. So to recap, here is how to embrace the art of buffer days. Understand that buffer days are meant for reflecting, rejuvenating, and preparing. Schedule your buffer days before and after high-stress periods for balance. Protect your buffer days like you would any other important commitment. And use them intentionally for reflection and activities that recharge you. Buffer days aren't just a luxury. They are a necessity for maintaining your focus, energy, and creativity. So give yourself permission to pause and watch how it transforms the way you work and thrive. You've got this.
Thanks for tuning in to the Thrive in 5 podcast. If you found value in today's episode, I'd love for you to leave a review. It helps more listeners discover the show. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a dose of productivity, motivation, and success tips. And hey, share this episode with a friend that could use a little extra inspiration. Until next time, keep thriving and remember, you've got this.